Bam! It's time for a review. Well, folks, this is Bam's Crafting Corner. I've been talking about this one for a while now. These are some action figures that I picked up at a yard sale. I got old Battle Cat, Skeletor there. There's a Snake Eyes down inside of there. A bunch of guns, weapons, accessories, etc. We're going to go ahead and dip these bad boys in this Rit dye right here. We've got synthetic red. There's a picture for you. It's racing red. And then we've got graphite. Now, this graphite's older. I used it last time. Let's hope it's still good, know what I'm saying? All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and dip this stuff. I went to my local thrift store and I picked up a spoon that no one's going to miss. It was like $1, $2, something like that. And I got an old bucket that no one cares for. So I'm just going to dye the heck out of these action figures. All right, let me get started. I'll take pictures throughout and then we'll look at the final product. All right, be right back. Bam! And here's the test subjects. Just getting everybody ready. Took old Skeletor's head and his boots off and, you know, his accessories. We're going to make them a different color. Snake Eyes is flaring out like usual. Old Battle Cat's ready there. Problem here is he floats, so I don't know if that's going to turn out, but I guess we shall see. I threw some aliens in there too. We're going to turn those guys black if possible. I got the water boiling. Be right back. Bam! And here's the water. We're getting there. Let's keep going. All right, here's an in progress shot. So far, it looks like Battle Cat. You know, he floats, so I can't keep him under there, and parts of him is kind of dying. The other parts are kind of not dying. Skeletor looks pretty good, except for his chest piece. And Snake Eyes yep, he's still black. I'll check in a minute. Bam. And here we go. We're on to the black. Look at those aliens submerged. Some of the bits of Battle Cat's stuff is sticking out, but, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. Be right back. All right, so the dyeing process is complete. Oh, my Lord. It took probably about 3 or 4 hours to complete this dyeing process. It is 24 hours later at this point, so I let everything dry. And I'm going to kind of step through the figures and what they look like currently. So as a recap, this was the alien that I dyed in the black Rit dye. So this is what he looks like, you know, in his normal color. And here comes the dyed alien. Bam! Look at that. Just the striking difference here. And you can tell that this one is the dyed alien, because if you turn him around, you'll see on his back here. Well, oh, there you go. His head just came off and he's red as all get out. And you'll see in the back there as well, he's got some red to him. So when you dye these guys, you got to make sure that the joints get properly dyed. You got a little bit of red there. And a little bit of red in the joint there. But man, I tell you what a difference that makes, huh? Look at that. So I will dye these other ones as well. I have a bunch of these. And I don't really like the red ones or the green ones. But we'll see how it goes. All right. So this next one, it's going to be pretty much exactly the same, I would say. So just as a refresher, here was the green. And I like the green because he's got all these ridges on his head, which is really cool. These guys are pretty good articulation. These are lanyard aliens. These are the 6-inch version. So I showed off the 3.75-inch versions previously on a video. These are now the 6-inch versions. But this is the first time that I've dyed the 6-inch ones, but you know, not too shabby. All right, and here's the completed dyed version. Look at the ridges on his head there. I'll get him a little close. Just great detail. They got an articulated jaw, as you see there. Tail moves. You got good articulation. I would definitely recommend these lanyard aliens. They look great in dioramas. They look great with you know, scenes with 6-inch figures, G.I. Joe classifieds. You can even use these with 3.75-inch. They just look really big. So there you go. Not too shabby. So there's the aliens. Let me get those kind of out of the way. All right. So there's the 2 aliens that I dyed. Not too shabby. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you do it? I think it was worth it. I mean, the bottle of dye is like $8. You could dye a lot more. I just did these two as a test, and then I have, I think, another red in this one, and then another green. So I have another 4 that I'm going to dye. And then I have runner aliens too, which are different. I kind of like the colors of those, but I might wind up dyeing those as well. But maybe I'll do that in a different time, a different video. All right, moving right along. So we did a bunch of weapons and stuff, and the weapons kind of, you know, they kind of didn't turn out very well at all, actually, this time. This was like one of the best weapons that I did. And it was silver previously, so it just made it like dirty. So I don't know. It wasn't that good of a dyeing process for the weapons this time. This was previously silver. You can look in the video a little bit back to see how it changed. So this was one of the glow-in-the-dark weapons from the Necrocondas back there. I tried to dye him, but you'll see the original. The original's right here. And then that's the dyed version. So that didn't really work out too well. It is what it is. This was another sword that I dyed. It was another one was glow-in-the-dark weapons. After I dyed it red, it just kind of looks like this gold color. So not too good for the weapons this time. This gun didn't make much changes at all. Same as this bazooka. It's kind of the same. And the bow didn't really change color at all. It's just like dirty silver now. So, not too good on the old weapons. Alright, so the next thing up here that I dyed was a Masters of the Universe Origins Skeletor. You saw the pictures previously back, but here's a refresher. This is a Skeletor figure. This is the one with the dragon on his back. But, you know, the colors are the same. So, it's pretty much the same figure. The head and everything is pretty much the same. So, this is what he looked like previously. An example of that. And then the current dyed version. Dun, 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 dun. Let me get him into a nice standing position. Is here. Bam! Look at that bad boy. Does he not look wicked or what? I'm digging it, folks. There's one of those weapons that I dyed. Just kind of put it in his hand. You can see here the red kind of really adhered to the arms and the legs, and it was lighter on the chest piece. So, you know, there's a good example of it right there. Not too shabby. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, I love it. I dig it. He's a little loose, but, you know, if you remember from my video, I got this guy at a yard sale. I paid like $1 for the figure. I got him. I got old He-Man back there, which he escaped the dye this time. He might go next time. And I got old Battle Cat, right? And we're going to be looking at Battle Cat shortly. So, you know, $1, turning him into this, a completely unique figure that's a one of one, you know, not too shabby. Now, I might do some updates to this guy, like maybe some highlights on his face to make that stand out, and the boots and stuff like that. But, you know, the cool thing about this dye is that it doesn't chip. So, like, you could move, you know, you can move the joints and whatnot, and it's, the color's not going to chip, right? So the paint's not going to chip. If you paint them, you can't really paint inside of the joints because that paint will chip. So dyeing is a very attractive option in that particular scenario. All right, so here he is. I call him Blood Knight Skeletor. Going into Spooktober, man. I could have done this for Spooktober, Bam. What are you doing, boy? What are you doing? Just using that content. All right, there he goes. Let me get a nice zoom in shot here. Oh, stay up there. He's a little loose. Get a nice zoom in. Oh, yeah, look at that. All right, man. Which one do you prefer? Blood Knight or the Dragon? I think it's easy to say for me, man. One looks like a toy. One looks like a nightmare. Not too shabby. All right, that's Blood Knight Skeletor. All right, last thing. Last but not least. Now, this was really hard because dyeing a Battle Cat, this dude is large. So here's my other Battle Cat. This is my man, this guy always falls. Just take a sleep, Skeletor. It's fine. So, you know, this guy is large and in charge, right? Like this toy is pretty large. And if you're gonna dye it, you need a big pot. Now, in retrospect, what I should have done when I dyed this guy is I should have tried to boil and pop the legs off. And I'll show you why. I had him in super hot water. I could have pulled him out and tried to pop these legs off, but I didn't do that. And I think you'll see why. So here's the original. And now, here is the dyed version. Bam! Look at that. All right, man. That's cool. Now, again, this is a yard sale version that I picked up, and, you know, he had gotten some love. He was played with, so his joints are kind of really loose. And me doing this dyeing process probably made it even worse. But you'll see here the red kind of took to the upper half here, and it made these stripes look awesome and the face look awesome. But the bottom feet here, it dyed in even further and it made it almost brown. So if I would have boiled and popped these off, dyed these until they were this consistency, and tried to match it all up, that would have been the much better play. And then the tail as well. Because you'll see the tail there is that dark brown color. But you know what? I think it's cool. Yeah, man, I dig it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Now, this hard armor piece here, this thing would not absorb the black dye. No matter what I did, you can see it's slightly darker than the original Battle Cat there, but it would not absorb the dark dye. Now, the head armor piece, this did absorb the black dye. Let me put that on. All right, so with the armor, the head armor on, this is what he looks like. Now, it's unfortunate that the head armor is a different color than the body armor, so that's why I kind of didn't show it with that on there. I wish they were both the same. Now, down the line, I'm considering painting this, putting like black stripes in here maybe. But I kind of wanted to avoid using actual acrylic paints because, you know, of the chipping problems. But I might do that, and I might leave this color. That way, when a figure goes on and off, you know, it won't strip the paint. But here, it should be fine. That paint should stand the test of time. And you see here that the belt dyed with no problem. So the softer plastics, the one for the belt here, the one for the head, no problem with adhering to the dye whatsoever. This armor, it was a problem. And, you know, Battle Cat was in the drink for probably an hour and 15 minutes just to get his midsection to adhere to the ink. And this top was also in there in the black dye because, you know, the midsection was in the red dye. The top was in the black dye for like another hour. So, I mean, this was a pretty extensive project there. Old Bam, you know, he's sitting in the kitchen over the hot sink. I felt like it was Thanksgiving dinner all over again, and I'm cooking. Anyway, so let's go ahead and put old Blood Knight Skeletor on top of his steed, and I call it Hellcat, of course. Look at that. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the dyeing process. I would definitely recommend these Rit dyes. I would definitely recommend these Rit dyes for sure. Here's what you're looking at here as far as the dyes. I have green, and I have sapphire blue, and I have graphite, which that's the black that was used to make the aliens. So definitely recommend these products. Pick them up, do your dyeing, get yourself a cheap pot, get yourself a cheap spoon as well. Something you don't want to put food in because you could really mess up. You can mess some people up. They're drinking these dyes or whatever. And, you know, enjoy your dyeing process there. Let me know what you think of old Blood Knight Skeletor there and the aliens. That's pretty much it for this one. This has been a BAM review. Bam's Crafting Corner. Not so much of a review, but you know, I like to do some crafting stuff every once in a while. I review toys on YouTube, such as Mo2, G.I. Joe Classified, some Lanyard Aliens if you're looking for those, some Transformers, G.I. Joe Modern, Retro, etc. I do hauls as well. eBay hauls, yard sale hauls, big bad toy store hauls. I might have a big bad toy store haul coming up soon. But as far as this one, that's pretty much it. My name is Bam, and I'm out.